I, female 31, gave birth to my beautiful son a week ago. Unfortunately, there were some complications, so I was only released yesterday, but I'm so grateful to be home with our baby boy. When my water initially broke, my husband, 33, and I were at home, and I happened to be standing on my bedroom carpet. Cleaning was not the priority, so I threw some towels down and we left for the hospital. During the time we were in the hospital, my mother-in-law, 59, kindly offered to feed our dogs for us, and we were very appreciative of her help. It was only once we got home yesterday that I saw my mother-in-law had left a receipt and note stuck to the fridge, saying that she cleaned my bedroom carpet and wanted to be reimbursed. She'd also taken it upon herself to clean the rest of the house while she was at it, and all in all would like a day's pay at $25 an hour plus $200 worth of products. Now, while it was nice of her to clean my carpet and then the rest of my house, neither of us asked her to do this. My husband wrote her the following text. "Hello, Mom. We really appreciate your help over the last few days while my name was in the hospital. It was great having someone over to look after the dogs. We noticed your note and receipt on the fridge and are a little upset you took it upon yourself to 1. Snoop through the house, as neither of us had told you about my name's water breaking in the bedroom, 2. Go out and buy hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning products, and then 3. Charge us for your time and the aforementioned products. We would also like to ask where these cleaning products are, as if we're paying for them, we would certainly like to get our money's worth. When we entrusted you with the dogs, we really thought you were helping us out of the good of your heart and not giving you an opportunity to make a quick buck. We are family and are hurt you would do something like this while my name was so unwell." My mother-in-law immediately responded to my husband, saying that she did what she did out of the kindness of her heart, and she couldn't believe we would be so ungrateful. I have also received some texts from extended family members saying that mother-in-law didn't have to help me, but did so despite her advanced age out of love. I've had to turn off my phone so that I don't have to deal with all the texts. However, my husband still gets a lot of hate from his family because we are manipulating the situation and making mother-in-law the bad guy when she was only trying to get the house ready for the baby. I'm upset by the whole thing, but my husband is now saying that we should pay to get the extended family off our back and enjoy this time as new parents rather than deal with all this. I'm not okay with paying his mom for anything. She sent another text to my husband earlier saying she'd be happy to gift us the products, i.e. take it off our bill, but she would still like to be paid for her time given that she dealt with a biohazard. So, am I the idiot for refusing to pay my mother-in-law? Not the idiot. It's only help if the recipient wants it. Otherwise, it's imposing yourself on them. Charging for it is only doubling down on the problem because now it's forcing unwanted commercial services on you. If she'd done it out of the kindness of her heart, the most she could possibly ask for is the cleaning supplies because that's the only thing she's out financially, and I'd be giving even that the side eye. Where are the cleaning products? They are non-existent. Watch out, she will offer to spend time with the baby and then charge you $25 an hour for babysitting. OP, you should go into her house when she's not there and do some unasked things and then bill her for it, e.g. mowing the lawn, rearranging the kitchen, etc. Then, when she protests, call it even and let the extended family know. Also, I would never allow her in my house again or ask her for help. This is really cheap behaviour. I did it out of the kindness of my heart. Now where's my money? Lady, the kindness of one's heart doesn't come with a price tag. For $200, you can bring in a professional cleaning service. To the flying monkeys, this is none of your business. Back off and stop contacting us. Then block them. OP, rest up, and I hope you can find some way to let this become white noise and enjoy this time with your husband and baby. My male 43 mother had one sibling, my uncle, who was survived by his two daughters, Anne, 26, and Lisa, 24. My uncle wasn't the best with money. Growing up, Anne and Lisa didn't have much. So every time I would fly over to the States and visit, I would try my best to spoil them however I could. Especially as my business grew bigger and better, I tried my best to support my two cousins. They're my last piece of extended family and they're like little sisters to me. Their father passed away and didn't leave them much. Last year, Anne married her soulmate, a great guy. He has a good career and is respectful, faithful, trustworthy and humble. I couldn't be happier for her. I pitched in together with the groom's parents to pay for the wedding. Nothing too expensive or outrageous, but we all agreed it's a good gift for newlyweds to start their life. Now this week, Lisa says she wants to marry her current boyfriend, fiancé, MJ. Obviously, she asked me if I would be willing to pay, and normally I would. But not if she's marrying this dude. I can't in good conscience spend so much money on a relationship I do not believe in with a guy I dislike and disapprove entirely of. I only met MJ a couple of times. Still, from my interactions with him, this is what I got. He has a hood mentality. He completely disrespects my heritage. He cheated on her once. He works a part-time job as a cashier, and he has no goals or aspirations for the future. I told her she was welcome to get married to him, and I would come to my wedding and give her a gift, but she could forget about me footing the bill if she really wanted to marry MJ. Well, she got extremely angry, called me an idiot and whatnot. But what bugs me is that my wife says I'm an idiot for playing favourites and controlling who Lisa marries. Not the idiot, you aren't controlling, you're just not paying. It sounds like the boyfriend first insulted you and then wanted money. He's not the smartest. His parents aren't stepping up for half like last time, no surprises there. At the end of the day, you are her cousin, not her parent. And honestly, I'd be worried the boyfriend would abscond with any money sent for the wedding. Something similar happened to my friend's sister. She'd been engaged to her boyfriend briefly before he started pressuring her to get married ASAP. My friend's parents gave them a lot of money for the wedding. The fiancé had taken on making all of the bookings, which was agreed to because it was his idea to get married so soon, and it's difficult to book things for a nice wedding that quickly, so he said he would take on the difficult task himself and make it happen. He ended up losing all of the allocated funds for the wedding at a casino, trying to get more money for the wedding. And they lived happily ever after, I hope. OP, you're not controlling who Lisa marries. She can and will go ahead and marry him, right? You're just not giving her the gift of covering the wedding costs. That's not required. It's not her right. It's a gift and she can't demand it. When my wife and I decided to get pregnant, we agreed that she would stay with our son for the first 2 years and I would spend another 2 years until he started going to school. My son, due to birth problems, was born with health problems, and because of this, there is a higher cost with doctors, exams and medicines, and even with the health plan, we still have a lot of expenses. When my wife took maternity leave, we earned the same salary, and this salary would be enough to have a comfortable life with the child, but with our son's healthcare costs, it would be completely unfeasible. We currently have good financial conditions because I got promotions that increased, and it's possible to have a comfortable life and provide all the healthcare for our son. Our son is a toddler and we sat down to talk about these plans. She said she talked to the company and they were willing to hire again under the same conditions and that we would have to plan financially for me to stay at home. I was very honest and paraphrasing here, I said, "Look, I know that our plans were these in the beginning, but we were only able to have this comfortable life because of my salary. If we depend only on yours, it will compromise our income and not give us the same quality of health for our son. I'm sorry, but you being the sole provider in the house is not possible, and I'm not going to do this with our son." Daycare is not an option for us because my wife is entirely against it due to the bad reputation of these places in my country, and it's always been her wish to only enroll in school at the age of 4. She argued, saying that it was our agreement and that she supported me being at home, and now it's my turn to give her that chance. Me. I understand, and if it were the situation we expected, I would agree and do it, but that's not our reality, and I'm not going to do that with our son, and you'll have to wait a little longer, unfortunately. She was very upset, saying that I went back on our initial agreement and wasn't committing to something. My work is not possible from home. I don't see how making this change would financially compromise our family. I admit that maybe it was a failure in our communication, but on the day-to-day rush, am I the idiot? Added, she doesn't want our child to have a nanny or stay in childcare all day. She wants someone to stay with him until he's 4 years old. And this is why I hate making agreements years in advance and never do them, because something entirely out of your control can screw it up and make the agreement completely unfeasible when it's time. I will say, not the idiot, but I can understand why your wife is hurt too. You make good points. You simply do not have the financial capacity for her to be the sole provider with her wages alone. Her being the primary caretaker is also a big mental strain on her. I disagree, you are the idiot. First, because you made an agreement with her that her career would be on pause, not shut down indefinitely. The longer she waits to go back, the harder it will be to recover her career and catch up to where she would have been without the gap. More so, you are the idiot for telling her that you will not stay home and allow her to return to work. You're a family unit and need to treat each other as equals. You can certainly tell her that you value the greater financial stability of your current position over her desire to return to the office and above your integrity in keeping an agreement. Then you can discuss and come to a consensus together. What you can't do, what neither of you should do, is make demands. The mother won't compromise. She won't have a nanny or babysitter. According to the mother, either she or OP has to take care of him. Financially, it won't work with the father staying home as per the agreement. There are two choices: get a nanny, or the mother stays home and doesn't go back to work. If she values career progression, she needs a nanny or daycare. She should be flexible too. I'm an 18-year-old female. My older sister is 26. We're half-sisters as we share the same dad. We're the only kids to our dad. Our dad and her mom were once married. I wasn't born, obviously, and when they divorced, my sister lived with her mom 99% of the time. She grew up 4 hours away from us. I only saw her a week out of the year growing up. She would attend some holidays with our dad's side of the family. Once she graduated high school 9 years ago, she lived with our dad, and I was seeing her all the time. That's when we built our relationship. My mom and dad live in the same city, so I've always lived 50-50 with my parents. We have an aunt and uncle on our side that I grew up with. Since I was 6, I've been staying summers with them out of state until this year. They also have a son I'm 2 years apart from. They tried to have my sister for summers when she was a child, but because of whatever, she never got to. Over the past 9 years, my sister has finally been around enough, just like I've been my whole life. I graduated this year and had a party our dad's side attended. My uncle, our dad's brother, booked a trip for us to go to Hawaii, his family and me, and I didn't know my sister didn't know. I didn't want to bring it up at all. When our cousin brought it up at my party, my sister asked, "You guys are going to Hawaii?" And it became awkward as heck. Our uncle and aunt kind of rushed into a room and I just quickly said yeah and walked away from the topic. I saw my aunt take her into a room and talk to her. I didn't know what they spoke about, nor did I ask, until my sister reached out to me yesterday. Basically, she said she's had time to think about that day and said our aunt told her that she's an afterthought because they didn't get to build a relationship with her when she was young. And because of lost time, things are the way they are. My sister told our aunt that since she's been around the family more now, it's ridiculous that she's excluded over such a thing she had no control over. She told me she doesn't appreciate them playing favourites, excluding her and making excuses. Also, she didn't care about not going to Hawaii, it's the point, when they claim they wish they were closer to her. She said they're potentially putting a wedge between us by doing things like this and that I should know how she feels as her sister. I told her this had nothing to do with me and that our aunt had a point about her childhood being the biggest reason things are the way they are. I also told her she was wrong for thinking our aunt was playing favoritism. She told me it's a shame I don't see an issue with this and that she looks at me differently for siding with my aunt, which I'm not even doing. She said she clearly can't talk to me about how she feels and it's wild how I'm siding with someone who really hurt her. Ugh, it's just drama. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot, and your aunt and uncle are even worse. Per your post, as soon as she was old enough, your sister seems to have done her best to get to know her dad's side of the family and has been around for the last 9 years. Not 9 months, 9 years. She lived with your dad and created what she seemingly thought was a good relationship with you and the rest of that side of the family. It's incredibly cruel to leave her out and say things like, "Gosh, we really wish we were closer to you, and of course, having you join us on a family holiday to Hawaii would help a lot, but no, sorry, not inviting you." Don't be surprised if she drops out of your life entirely. Then again, you sound like you wouldn't care. In fact, the only person who isn't an idiot here is your sister. You're one for undermining her feelings. That's a crappy thing to do. Your aunt and uncle are one for holding her childhood against her. She had no control over where she spent her time, but she gets blamed and is told she's an afterthought. What the actual heck? Your dad is the biggest idiot. He failed her. He failed to be a father to her. You can't be a decent parent if you only see your kid 1% of the time. My fiancé, 27 male, and I, 26 female, are getting married next Saturday. 3 days ago, my grandfather passed away. My grandmother, mother, siblings, and other family members are devastated. The problem is, I'm really not. I shed a few tears, but truth be told, my grandfather was kind of an idiot, and we didn't have the best relationship. He wasn't that great of a husband either. I know for a fact some family members share this sentiment, even if they won't say it out loud. If the shoe was on the other foot, I don't think he'd cancel an important event for me. My mother is saying I'm not thinking right and to keep her and grandmother's feelings into consideration, but I don't care. I'm dying to marry my fiancé already. I just feel like it's our time to do this. If I cancel, we'd also be losing a ton of money on deposits we've made, venue, catering, etc. The funeral will be on Wednesday, so 3 days before our wedding. I've heard whisperings of family members saying they'll no longer be attending the wedding, which is hurtful. So, am I the bad guy for this? Not the idiot. It's the family grief, but it's not the family's money lost or months of planning up in flames. I'm sorry that this happened so close to your big day. Anyone who isn't going to attend would just put a damper on the occasion. Let them have their space and celebrate your love in peace. Everyone will show up for the wedding because they all knew he was kind of an idiot. The wedding will give them the excuse to put him in the past. People play BS games about the dead. There must have been some good in him. I got that played to me about my mother, who was mentally ill and physically and emotionally abusive. Everyone is glad she's long gone. Your mother is not thinking right because she knows full well he was an idiot. This is your and your fiancé's day, not a dead idiot day.